Gold Breakfast Show podcast, Flan, Alley and Spider.
As youth crime rates remain high across the state.
Police Commissioner Katarina Carroll is quitting her post.
Well, ankle bracelets and potential deportation in order to tackle the state's youth crime crisis.
Well, it's just an endless barrage of youth crime reporting. It's something that affects so many of us. Police are resigning in their absolute droves. And joining us right now, we have Dr Terry Goldsworthy, who has a master's degree in criminology and a PhD in criminology from Bond University. He's also a 30-year veteran in this country in policing. He was a detective inspector. Good morning, Terry.
Yeah, good morning.
Now, I actually just got off the phone to a very dear friend of mine who was also a detective. She left the force due to mental health reasons. And I tell you what, Dr. Terry, I honestly, she's someone who is so tough, and I never, ever would have thought that she would be affected like this. But it's just a common theme, isn't it? There are so many police resigning.
It is, and if you look at the Working for Queensland survey that came out last year, it surveys the police internally, and statewide, up to 50% of them indicated they're going to leave their positions in the next 2 years. So, you add that onto the fact that less than 30% of them had faith in the senior executive, then you've got some serious internal issues within the QPS.
Can we ask, because, we see down in Melbourne, I'm in Melbourne a bit, but over all the police cars, there's all riding. We can't turn out if we are burnt out. Family or the force, don't let us choose. And that is on every police car around Victoria. What do they need in Queensland so we can get the force that we need to stop what's going on?
Well, first of all, you need police on the beat, on the coalface, and that's problematic at the moment because we've got hundreds of less police than we had a year ago. And, that's a failure of workplace planning because police have to retire at 60. It's not like other occupations where you can retire when you want. So the executive of the police service knew exactly how many people were going to be retiring and moving out of the service and should have planned for that. The other issue we have is we've got a 20-year high in the crime rate in Queensland, so police are busier than ever. You add in that there's less police to go around, and it's just going to be a continual self-eating circle of overwork and burnout. So you need to get more police on the road. You need to get a grip on the crime issue to start with and start bringing crime back down. And you need some really effective leadership, both at the local level and statewide. Do
you think personally that, 60 is too young? A lot of people these days, 65, 70, they put the pension up. Why can't they utilise these police officers that have been in the force for 30, 40 years in different ways around to help the junior force?
Well, they could, Spider. The problem you've got, if you leave the police service and you don't come back within a certain period of time, you must come back in at the bottom rank. So, for instance, if I want to go back and join the police to contribute or something, I'd have to go back as a constable, which is simply ludicrous. So, that's one issue they'd need to look at. They have got the special constables or auxiliary constables there where they've got people who have left coming back and working, some shifts to take the pressure off the police. But, look, it seems to be an ongoing problem. It's got good, attractive financial conditions around it. It's got good leave and good sick leave and whatever else. But people just don't seem to be attracted to it.
Terry, just having a chat to my former detective friend, I feel like hearing some of the things she said, like stating things like, the hours and hours and hours they will put into, say arresting someone for a break and enter, and then they get a slap on the wrist and things like the people that they're trying to protect, their lives have been affected forever. They now live in fear, whereas these criminals, have got away with a simple slap on the wrist. Things like the officers going in on their one day off to give their own statements, just so as their workload in their regular shift isn't affected. And one thing she said to me really stuck out. She said, when these general duties police officers go into these O emergencies, they're experiencing one person's worst day of their life every single day, multiple times a day. Do you think that the community need more understanding of what our police officers are going through?
Yeah, I think, the senior police should be much more transparent in terms of the workload the police are undergoing, what are the stresses and strains on them. I saw last night on TV, the senior officer down here was questioned did he think he had the support of the local officers? And his response to the media was, well, you should go and ask them. Well, that's the wrong answer. He should go and ask them, and he should find out what their problems are. I mean, that's what any good leader would do. Now, I mean, once you identify what the issue is, burning out the officers, what is causing them angst, you can then try to develop a plan to answer it. I think most of the community realise that the police are doing the best they can, that there are other segments of the criminal justice system that perhaps need to be fine-tuned and changed.
What are some of those, Terry?
Well, I think we do have concerns about how the court system operates in terms of transparency of children court matters, especially bail hearings where people get released continually. The Premier has committed to making that open now. We'll see if that happens. We have consorting laws in Queensland that we use on the bikies, and we're told are the greatest tool that we've got to fight them. Why aren't we looking at expanding those to also include serious repeat youth offenders? So that we can then use them against them? But I'm told that the government will not even consider that. So, if you want to stop the crime crisis, you're going to have to do some hard yards and put in some things that may not be popular with certain sections of society.
Yes.
You can always put a sunset clause in and go, okay, this is coming for 2 years. Once we get serious repeat offenders down to less than 200, we'll stop using it.
Yep.
Yeah. Well, Terry, we do really appreciate your time this morning. Terry Goldsworthy, criminologist at Bond Uni, and we know that police are under pressure, absolutely. Can we leave you? It's been really important question so far, but one other important question I've got to ask you very quickly. Do you watch maths?
Oh, Spider. Come on, mate.
Maths, no. I refuse to watch shows like that, Spider. I have enough reality TV in my own life.
Thank you, Terry. Appreciate it.
Thanks, Terry. And can we just give a massive shout out to all the police force that do
Absolutely.
such a wonderful job day in and day out. We're so lucky to have you, and we appreciate you.
Last night, Heritage Bank Stadium, it was